Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stella and I make videos talking about current technologies and tutorials on how we can use them. Today I'll be going over the 3 reference types in Java: objects, arrays, and functions. So let's get started. So I've opened up Visual Studio Code and also opened up the folder where I want to store my files in. Let's first look at objects. Objects are used to group related variables together. A real-life example of an object would be a car. We can describe a car in many different ways, for example, the brand and the color. If we didn't have objects, we would have 2 variables and it would look like this. Let color equal to black, and let the brand equal to, let's say, a BMW. With objects, instead of declaring and referencing 2 variables, we can declare a car object and reference that object to get the 2 car characteristics. To create a car object, we will type let car is equal to open and close curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets is where we'll put our key value pairs. So the key is the property, so for example, the color, and then we'll separate it with a colon. In our scenario, it's black. So we will type black, and we'll use a comma to separate the different key value pairs. Our second pair is going to be the brand. So we'll type brand, and that's equal to BMW. Lastly, we'll end this with a semicolon. After we have declared a car object, we can console log the output. So let's see what our object looks like. We'll do log, and then car. Save this and give it a run. And we can see the properties of the car object. The color is black, and the brand is BMW. Now, since it's a property, there's a couple of things we can do with it. Let's say we want to change the color's car to red. To do that, we'll use dot notation. So here we'll do car.color is actually equal to red and not black. So now when we save this and give it a run, we can see that our color has changed from black to red. Because it's a variable, it takes the last value that was given to it and outputs that. Another way to do the same thing is with bracket notation. So again, if we want to change the color, we can do car and then use square brackets instead, type in color, and take that equal to, let's say, yellow. When we give this another run, we can see that our color is now yellow. Let's say we don't want to print out the whole car object, but only certain parts of it. For example, I want to print out just the brand. So instead of console logging the whole car object, we can add a dot notation here, and then we can see we can print out either the brand or the color. So let's print out the brand. And then when we save it, the only thing that is printed out is the brand, which is BMW. Now let's move on to arrays. So let's create a new file called arrays.js. And in here we'll be talking about arrays. Arrays are handy when you're dealing with a list of multiple values. For example, I want to make a shopping list. So we can do let shopping list, and we can set that equal to square brackets. Let's do donuts, ice cream, and chips. All the values are separated with commas, and then we'll end this with a semicolon. To see what our shopping list looks like in the terminal, we can do a console log, and we can do shopping list, save, and give this a run. Here's our array: donuts, ice cream, and chips. Like the object, we can do multiple things with the array. For example, we can see the length of the array. So to do that, we will do a dot notation, dot length, and then when we print this, we can see that we have an array length of 3. This is kind of like a key value pair where the index number would be the property and the food item would be the value. So in order to call upon just the donuts, what we can do is delete the length here, and then we can add our square brackets. Inside the square bracket, we'll put the index number of where donut is, and in this case, it's at 0. So we'll put 0 here. We'll save this and give it a run, and our program will only output donuts. Arrays are dynamic as well. This means that the array length can change. We can add to the array by specifying the next index, which is 3, and set it to, let's say, potatoes. So we can have shopping list 3 is equal to potatoes. Fun fact, potatoes are my favorite food. So we'll end it with a semicolon. Then down here, we'll change it to dot length again. When we ran this program, we're giving a length of 4, and that is because we added potatoes onto our shopping list. Since arrays are dynamic, we can also interchange the values from a string to an integer. So for example, instead of potatoes, we can put the number 10, and then we'll print out the shopping list. When we give this a run, we can see that we have donuts, ice creams, chips, and our integer of 10. Lastly, let's look at functions. So we'll go ahead and create a new JavaScript file called functions. And in here, we'll be talking about functions. Functions are useful for organizing your code and having code snippets that can be called upon to perform different tasks. Let's say I want to make a JavaScript program that will act as a calculator. So let's create our first function, which is add. So function add. To perform the add operation, we need to have two numbers. So what we can do is inside the brackets, we can set two parameters, num1 and num2. And inside our function, we can console log the sum and then concatenate that with the math operation of num1 plus num2. Now we can do the same thing, and let's say we want it to do subtraction, so we can do sub, and then we can do subtraction here, subtraction, and then instead of adding them, we will subtract them. Let's do one more, and let's do a multiplication. So in here we'll do multi, and then multiplication. And then our operator will be a star. So now in order to call upon the functions, all we need to do is type in the function name, which is add, and then pass in two numbers. For example, 2 and 3. And then close it off with a semicolon. So when we save this and give this a run, we can see that we have a sum of 5, which is correct. Then if we wanted to find the difference of two numbers, we can do sub, let's say 7 and 6. And then the multiplication of two numbers, so multi, let's say 5 by 5. So when we save this and give this a run, we created a small little calculator in JavaScript by calling upon different functions. Also, we don't have to pass in parameters for functions that don't need it. For example, if I just wanted to create a greeting function, I can do greet, and then we can console log something simple, hello world. And then down here, instead of doing that, we can just have a greet, and then when we save and run this, we will be given hello world. And that concludes my tutorial on learning the 3 reference types in Java. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you were able to follow along and learn some cool new things. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I make videos like this every single week, so if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any comments, questions, or even suggestions for future tutorial videos, please make sure to leave them down in the comment box below. Other than that, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week.